Good morning, and welcome to the Crafty Canary for In the Word on Wednesday. This is July 2022, and this month we are looking at verses that deal with our speech. Today we will be looking at a verse from the Psalms, Psalm 34:13. Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. When my son was little, we had a scripture memory CD that actually had a song for this verse on it. I will spare you from listening to me sing it, especially since I don't have the copyright permission to do it on a video. But it's now, of course, ingrained in my memory, and I love it that this verse is inside me. But the song, however, either used a different translation or it combined the New American Standard and the New International Version, because it was keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking lies. Just a subtle synonym there, lies, deceit. But sometimes I think the word lies really gives us more of a visceral response when we hear it. No one wants to be a liar or to be lied to. This verse is found in a larger section of Psalm 34, verses 11 to 22, that are David's instructions on how to live a successful, God-honoring life. He instructs the people to live righteously and shun evil, pointing specifically to our speech and honesty in this verse. He wants the people to be sincere in everything they do, and not to speak out of both sides of their mouth like we hear. This is similar to James's statement in his book about blessing and cursing coming from the same mouth. In verse 14 of this psalm, David tells them to seek peace and pursue it. Some other verses that encourage us to keep our tongue from evil are Psalm 141, verse 3. Set a guard, O Lord, over my mouth. Keep watch over the door of my lips. I love this one because it's part of a prayer of David, asking the Lord to keep his tongue from evil. We know that it's only possible with the Lord's help. Also, Proverbs 13:3 says, the one who guards his mouth preserves his life. The one who opens wide his lips comes to ruin. In this verse, we see the consequences of both guarding our tongue and speaking evil. And finally, we see Christ as our example in 1 Peter 2:22, who committed no sin, nor was any deceit found in his mouth. Why does the Bible advocate this honesty and righteous living? It is not so that we may gain salvation. Romans tells us that all of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. The first part of 1 Peter 3:18 tells us, for Christ also died for sins once for all, the just for the unjust, so that he might bring us to God. So it is only through the blood of Christ that we are saved, not through our righteous living. But the Bible calls us believers to righteous living, so that we may please God and for our own good. God knows that our lives will be more fruitful, more peaceful, even happier if we depart from evil and do good, as it also says in verse 14 of this psalm. Are there times when people suffer for doing the right thing? Absolutely. But even then, we can have peace within our hearts, knowing that we have done what is right and what pleases the one who gave his life so that we might be redeemed. We can rest knowing that our souls will never be destroyed, no matter what anyone else does to us here on earth. I hope that this has encouraged you today, and that this week you will ask the Lord to set a guard over your mouth so that your words can please him and bring honor to him. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week.